So today we'll see about C language, and we'll start from the base of how we will going to learn this particular language. Even if you don't know anything about the C language, then also it's very easy to learn, right? Now, let's suppose we want to learn English language. Okay, we want to learn English language. So what will be our steps to learn this English language? So we will first list out that particular thing. So first thing, let's say we will going to do what different letters are available, right? For example, we will going to see the different letters like small a to z, right? Capital A to Z we can write. And with the help of these letters only, what we will going to do later on, okay, we will going to make words, right? So first of all, we try to learn for any particular language what different letters are available in that particular language. Then after learning the letters, definitely by combining those letters, we will going to make the words. And after making the words, right, obviously those words will be having certain meaning, right? We should know the meaning of those particular words. And after making the words, what we can do, we can combine multiple words. Okay, combine multiple words. And after combining words, what we can do, we can make the sentences, right? So a sentence can have multiple words, right? For example, I'm saying I want to read. Okay, I want to read a book. So if you see here, there are multiple words are there, right? And after combining all those words, I have made one simple statement or sentence. So to learn any particular language, first of all, we need to know what different letters are available in that particular language. Okay. After learning those letters, we should learn how to make the words from those letters. After making words, obviously we should also learn we should also remember the meaning of those words. And then after learning the words, we can make the sentences. We can make these sentences. This is the normal procedure to learn any particular language. Second thing, if that language has numbers, right? For example, English language has numbers like 1 2 3, right? 1 2 3 4. So we are supposed to learn those numbers also, right? So that for anything we can just i mean we can just able to communicate if it requires to be communicate in terms of numbers, right? For any calculation or not. We should also know whether their numbers are there and how then those numbers are being represented in that particular language. So these are 2 3 things are enough to get hold on the C language, right? So I was just trying to tell you that if you are learning any particular language, we always must see first what different letters are available, what different numbers are available, and third thing, whether it also has any special symbols, right? For example, we can say at the rate, right? Percent sign, plus sign, minus sign, division, okay, into, let's say, or if it is represented by in this way, then brackets are there. Okay, all these symbols are called as what? Spatial symbols. Spatial symbols. So whether that language also possesses some spatial symbols, and what are the names of those symbols, right? So we must also be aware of that particular thing. Now, taking this into account, taking these all these things, three things: the different letters, different numbers or digits, and then third, the different spatial symbols, right? Or taking all these into consideration, let's see. Let's see in the C language what we have to do. Now I want to start the C language and I want to learn the C language. So obviously the first task, I'll see what are the different. So the topic of this one, let's say I'm saying the different character set. Okay? Different character sets which are available in C language. Different character sets in C. So first I will try to see what different letters are available. What different letters are available. So since this is a high level language, whatever we'll be writing in English language only. So the whatever letters are there in the English language, those letters are there in the C language also. So obviously we are having over here capital A to Z, okay, and then small a to Z. So we'll be using these letters only in the C language, capital A to Z and small a to Z. Now there are something which you must remember. They are called as this thing ASCII code. Okay, ASCII code. This is called the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, right? So there is a specific code for each and every letter, each and every digits or special symbols which are present on your keyboard, right? So each keys is being represented by some specific code. So you need to remember that particular thing also. So for example, the ASCII code for capital A is 65. Okay. Then for capital B 66, capital C 67, like this, right? So what you can do, suppose I want to find out for Z. So capital A is what, 65, right? Now we know that total letters are how many? 26. So just add 26 in this 65, we will get what? 91. But including this, okay, including this 65, so it will go up to 90. Okay, it will go up to 90, not 91, right? So the 90 will be your capital Z. Clear? So capital A is what, 65, capital B 66, C 67, like this up to Z, that is 90. So this is the ASCII code for capital letters. Similarly, the ASCII code for small letters are what? So this small letter will start from 97. Okay? 97. Then small b 98. Small c 99. So if you try to add in 97 26, right? So we'll get 123. But if I'm saying including 97 also, so it will go up to 122. So the small j will be represented by 122. So it's like this up to 122. Small a 97, small j 122. So please try to remember the letters are same, just like just like the English language. Okay, in the English language we are having from capital A to Z, small a to Z. Similarly here also we are having capital A to Z, small a to Z. Each character, letters or numbers, special symbols being represented by certain ASCII code. ASCII code is what? American Standard Codes for Information Interchange. So every key on the keyboard has certain ASCII code, right? For example, capital A is what? 65, capital Z is what? 90. Okay, 90. How to find out? I told you. Then small a is what? 97. Then up to small z, that is what? 122. So this is about the letters. Second is what I told you, if there are certain numbers. So I'm talking about digits available in this language. So since this follows English language, we are having 0 to 9 digits here also. Okay, same 0 to 9 digits we are having here also. So remember one thing here, 0 will also have certain ASCII code. Its ASCII code is 47. Okay, its ASCII code is what? 47. And 0 is having ASCII code 47. Then 1 will have ASCII code 48. Okay, 2 will have 49, like this. So total 10 numbers are there. If you just try to add 47 plus 10, right, it's 57. Okay, but including that 47 also, so it will go up to what? 56. So 10 this 9 will have what? 56 ASCII code. So even the numbers are same, 0 to 9, letters are same. Now it's turn of special symbols. So special symbols, whatever you will see, special symbols are also called as special characters. or I'm writing special symbols. So special symbols, what do you mean? Whatever operation symbols or any dollar symbol, for example, dollar is special symbol. Okay, tilde is there, cap is there, then hyphen is there, colon is there, comma is there, right? Quotes, at the rate, okay, exclamation, bracket, open, close, right? Curly brace, square bracket, percent sign, right? Plus, minus, into, right? All these symbols, okay? Question mark. So whatever symbols you are seeing, the special kind of symbol which are there on the keyboard, that comes under special characters. Even the space, okay, space, that is your space bar is there, right? With the help of that space bar, we put one space, okay? We put one space, and it has the ASCII code as 32. Okay, remember this. The space bar, the for the space we have the ASCII code as what? 32. So even space is also one of the special character. Anyway, to learn this particular language, we wanted to learn the different character sets which are present in this particular language, and the different character sets are what? Letters, that is A to Z, capital and small, then the digits, and then the special characters which are present in this particular language. So till here, all of you just let me know whether it's clear, then we can move ahead, right? If you have any doubt, please ask me. All of you are with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move ahead. Now we know. Okay. So now we know these are the different letters or numbers or special symbols are present. Now I told you while learning the English language, that after learning these letters, we must try to make the words. Okay, from how we will going to make the words. Obviously, we know the letters, so we will combine those letters and we will try to make the words. Okay, with the combination of all these letters. So similarly here also, we will going to make the words, right? And obviously those words can have the predefined meaning or it may not have the predefined meaning, but the idea is with the help of those letters we will going to make the words. So let's now move ahead and learn few concepts which are there in this particular language. So out of that, one is there that is called as first variable. Okay? Variable. So let's try to learn about this. What do you mean by a variable? So remember, a variable is an entity. Okay, it's an entity which create we create for storing certain value, for storing any value. For example, suppose we are writing any program and we want to input, let's say number 10. So where we will going to store, okay, we will store inside some variable. Let's say we will declare x, and inside this x we will going to store this 10, right? So it's like whenever you are getting the input from the user, you need to have certain thing which will going to hold those values from the user, right? For that purpose, we always declare a variable in the C language. Now the variable can have a proper name. Now here I've written x, but by looking at this x, nobody will be able to tell me that x is which kind of variable, right? For example, suppose I want to get the name of any particular person, so I'll declare my variable as this name. Okay. So by looking at this variable, I can understand that I'll be taking the name. For example, let's say I want to get the average height, so I'll declare my variable like this, AVG, or average like this. Okay, so I can give a proper name so that we can understand by looking at the name that this variable is for which what purpose, right? Otherwise, if we will give the name as A, B, X, or Y, right? So by looking at these names, we won't be able to understand that for what purpose these variables are created. That is the first thing. The second thing is what? Second thing is see, suppose I am inserting a value 10. Okay, I am taking the value 10 from the user. So what happens? What happens if we will declare a variable like this? So normally we declare a variable like this. Let's say int x. So that means integer type variable I am declaring in the C language. Okay, int x. Now this x can hold this value 10. So I can say x is equal to 10. Now x is having what? 10 value. Now what happens whenever we will declare this kind of variable? What computer does? It will going to make a memory. Okay, it will going to reserve the memory in the memory slot, right? Of how, what will be the space of that, I mean what will be the size of that particular memory, that depends on the type of this variable. For example, here I have declared integer type. That means it will going to take an integer number, right? So in the turbo, if you see in the with the 32-bit, right, it has 2 bytes memory for the integer. Nowadays we'll be having 4 bytes memory. We'll come to know what do you mean by 2 bytes and 4 bytes. So what it does, whenever we declare any variable, it will going to allocate certain space in the memory. So let's say it has allocated 2 bytes memory, 2 bytes memory. Now what it will does, what it will do, it will put that 10 value over here, right? And it will give the name to this particular slot as what? X, right? Now since this is there in the computer memory, okay, it's there in the computer memory, so there are lots of spaces are there, right? Somewhere here it has allocated a 2 bytes memory. This is a 2 bytes memory, and it will have certain number, like for example, this is the memory address. Okay, this is the memory address of that particular slot in the memory which is being allocated. So either if you want this particular 10 value, either you should know the address of that particular slot, right? For example, with the help of 1040, I'll be able to get this particular value. Or you can take the name of that particular variable and you will get the value. For example, if I say print x, right? So print x will print the value of this 10, right? So with the help of this name x, I am able to get the value 10, right? So this variable is also an identifier which is identifying. Okay, remember this. This variable, this variable is also an identifier which is identifying certain memory location. Okay, certain memory location or memory address in the total memory space. Okay, so it also identifying certain memory location in the memory which is available with the computer, right? So it is what? It is an identifier with the help of this, and it identifies certain values. Okay, what it is identifying now? It is identifying value 10 inside this particular entire memory slot. Okay, so this variable is also an identifier which identifies certain memory in the memory, entire memory space which is available. So with the help of that identifier, we can get that value. Now the third point why it is called as a variable. So this is called as a variable because, as the name suggests, okay, variable, it can vary throughout the program. It can vary throughout the program. So just remember this. Why it will vary? For example, suppose I want to perform any operation. Let's say I want to do x is equal to x plus 5. So that means initial value of x was 10. Now I am saying x is equal to x plus 5. So the x ka value now will become was 15. So the x ka value is being updated. That's why it will going to vary throughout the program. Whatever operation will be performing, we can perform in that particular variable, and it will going to update the value of that particular variable. So that's why this is also called as a variable, because it can vary throughout the program. It's not a constant. If it is a constant, its value will going to remain the same throughout the program, right? So in C language, there are constant, there are variables. Constant's value will remain constant throughout the program, but variable can change, it can vary throughout the program. That's why the name is what? Variable. Okay, so just write down a few points about the variable. Okay, just write down. Right, variable, variable is used variable is used to hold variable is used to hold certain values. Variables are used to hold certain values. Variables are used to hold certain values. Second point, it is also called as identifier. It is also called as identifier. It is also called as identifier because it identifies. It is also called as it is also called as an identifier because it is also called as an identifier because it will going to identify certain value certain value in the memory space in the memory space in the memory space. And with the help of the name of with the help of the name of the variable with the help of the name of the variable we can access we can access the value we can access the value stored in the memory. We can access the value stored in the memory. We can access these values stored in the memory. You can give this example. For example, we can declare the variable like this: int x. Then let's say we are storing a value x is equal to 10. So you can write like this: int int x is equal to 10. So if we are writing like this, what it will do, it will allocate a 2 byte space, the memory address, let's say I'm assuming 1040, and to this particular place it will identify as what, x, right? So either we can access this with 10 value with the help of this particular memory address, or we can also access with the help of this x, right? So both will do. The third point, you can write, you can mention, variable can vary. As the name suggests, variable can vary throughout the program. As the name suggests, variable can vary throughout the program. It can be updated. It can be updated. It can be updated. It can be updated. Okay. Clear till here? Now there are few rules to be followed while giving names while giving names to variables. Okay. Few rules to be followed while giving names to the variables. So these are very simple rules and you can very easily remember. Absolutely, there is no problem at all. So for example, the first rule is what? It says variable name must not start with a number. Okay. So a variable name must not start with a number. For example, suppose I am declaring a variable roll number, right? So I should not write like this: 2 roll number, then 3 roll number. Okay, so it should not start with a number. A variable name should not start with a number. Obviously, you can have the number in between the letters. Okay, but the first letter I'll specify over here what do you mean by this. First letter should not be a number. Okay, so please remember this. This is one rule. The second rule, second rule is what? A variable name so I will not going to admit, because if anybody outside from this particular xavier.ac.in, then I told you that I will not going to admit. Okay. Okay. So I was explaining you about the rules of the variable. Second point is what? Variable name cannot be same as keyword names. Okay. Keywords name. In C language, there is something called as keywords. Will come to know. Okay, just after this particular this particular topic will come across this keyword. Okay, and I will explain you about the keywords. But remember, at right now, remember that there are something called as keywords which has certain predefined meanings. Okay, so our variable name must not be same as those keywords. Yeah, our variable name must not be same as those keywords. Third, no special character is allowed. Okay, no special character is allowed except except this underscore sign. Okay, except underscore sign. What do you mean by underscore sign? If you press shift key and then minus hyphen sign, okay, then you will get this underscore. For example, many times we write in this way, uh, let's say average height. So here, with the help of this underscore, I have joined these two words. So most of the time, this underscore sign is used for joining two words, and it becomes sensible also. For example, with the help of that, we come to know that I am talking about height, but I'm talking about also average height, right? So it's many times we use this kind of syntax, right, where we try to give the name of the variable in this way so that it should be more meaningful. So no special character is allowed. We cannot have a dollar, no quotes or at the rate. All these kind of symbols are not allowed in the variable name, except this underscore. And you can start with the underscore. First letter cannot be a number, but it can be underscore. So you can start with the underscore sign, no problem. But we never give the name with the underscore. Normally we give proper name of the variable. Then what about the length of the name of the variable? Okay, name of the characters in the variable names. So you can have as many as character possible, but we also don't give a much bigger variable name, and it depends on the compiler to compiler. It can be, there can be 32, first 32 characters can be significant, so it will show first 32 characters, and then after that it may ignore that, right? That depends on the compiler also. In the turbo c, it will have the first 32 character as a significant characters, and we don't require also that much bigger size of variable names. Okay, so these are the few rules which you must remember during the naming convention of the variable. Okay, and very important one rule is there, that is the fifth rule, very important. C language is case sensitive. Okay, C language is case sensitive. So, so a variable, if we declare like this, average, and if we will declare like this average, or if we declare like this, okay, or if we declare like this, so these are different variables. Even though if we see the letters are same, but even if one letter is small or capital, the entire meaning will change, because this is what case sensitive. Case sensitive means it will also, it is sensitive to the case of that particular letter, whether it's capital or small case. So this variable is different than this particular variable, than this, right? So all these are different variables. So remember this very important rule. If you are declaring a variable, if somewhere you have declared like this average, right? So throughout the program, if you want to access the average variable, you must write the proper name, okay? Somewhere down the program, if you written like this, it will give you error that this variable is not defined, right? Because you have defined the variable with this particular small letters. And the variables names in C language, we it's a convention, we always define with the small letters, okay? So remember this, since C is a case sensitive language, all these kinds of variable names are different, right? Even if one case changes here and there, it will become as another variable. So just try to remember these 5 rules. These are very important rules, and if you remember this, you will be able to declare the variable names. Okay, so till here, all of you are with me. Any doubt, you can ask me. So 2 3 minutes, I am taking a pause. You can just note down, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Then we can move ahead. Right. From the start, if you're not understood anything, you can ask me. What I want, the moment I'm taking the lecture, at the same time you must be able to study entire thing, okay? And once the lecture is over, whenever I will sit with that particular thing, you should be able to finish, right? There should not be any doubt in your mind. So remember this, and always remember that whenever you will ask me doubt, I am always approachable, okay? Anytime you have the doubt, you can always ask me, right? You can have my number also. If you are doing any program, you are getting any error, you can send me the screenshot. I will try to resolve if I'll be there online, right? So don't worry. Our main motto is what we should learn this particular language, and we should become a proper, expert in this particular language, because nowadays, you all of you know that without programming, nothing will going to work, right? So we have to learn this language. Even if you are from the even if you are from the EXCC background, then also this is required, right? At the end, we have to learn this all these programming languages. So give effort, okay? And the moment the programs will start, every day try to practice at least one program, so that uh, unless and until you will practice on the computer, I can tell you that you will not become expert, right? You have to have typed the program on the screen, you have to execute the program. See, many times you will get the errors, lots of errors you will get. Doesn't matter, during start of the programming you will get the errors. That's good, you will come to know what different errors you can get, and if you will get the errors, then only you can come to know that how to resolve those errors, okay? What different steps you'll be taking if you are getting those errors. Imagine a situation, if you are doing a program and during the first attempt only, if you have written the proper program and it's being executed, then in the future if you'll get any error, it will be very difficult for you to resolve, because you have never come across any error, right? So errors are nothing but our experiences. uh, as the time passes, you will have the collection of errors in your bag, right? And those are your experiences. So anybody, if anybody will get any error, he will come to know that these errors I was getting for that particular purpose, and obviously we're going to resolve them. So never ever worry if you are getting any particular error, you will get, and that's bound to happen, right? But that doesn't matter. That's our experience. So if you'll see this book also, let me show you. So I covered this character set. Okay, it's given in this particular book, Elements of Speech, Chapter 2. You can refer this particular book. See, character set, alphabets are there, digits are there, special characters are there, right? Then, then I talked about variables. I think variable must be given ahead somewhere. Okay. Now, so in this second chapter, you will get, right. Second chapter, you will get. Now, I'll be talking about this reserve words. Okay, reserve words, that is keywords. So, what I was talking about, that these variable names, the fourth, uh, the second rule which I wrote over here, yeah, variable name cannot be same as the keyword names. Okay, so we came across these keywords. So now we'll learn what do you mean by keywords. So let's see that. Keywords. Okay, what do you mean by keywords? These are the keywords. These are the important words. Okay, so these keywords in C language, they, they are predefined, have predefined meanings. Okay? Have predefined meanings. Predefined meanings. That means their meaning is already predefined. You don't try to change the meaning of that particular thing. Okay, its meaning is already predefined. You must know the meaning of those keywords, and you have to use those keywords according to their meaning, right? And these are also called as reserve words. Reserve words. So these words are reserved. These the same words you cannot use for declaring any variable names or identifier names. Okay, these words are what reserved words. If you're trying to declare any keyword as same as your variable name, for example, there is a keyword int. There is a keyword int. Now for declaring variable, what we do, we write like this: int x. So here I have declared variable x with this keyword integer. Now if you try to do the like this, int, that means this is a keyword, this is also keyword, but you are trying to give the name of the variable as your int. Okay, it will give you the error. If you are trying to do in this way, that means you are trying to change the meaning of this particular keyword only, right? You are not allowed to change the meaning of the keyword, because those of words are what reserved words. Yeah, and it is also already having the predefined meaning. So integer has the predefined meaning, that if you want to declare any variable which can hold the integer kind of value, so at that time you can use integer keyword. Now the second thing is what. So what are those different keywords? There are lots of keywords are there. Okay, list are there. For example, I can have int, float, right? Float, double, char. I can have for, while, do, else, if. So lots of keywords are there. You can just see later in this particular book. There is a list given. Okay, if you see here, auto, cons, double, float, in, short, struct. So basically, the way we'll be moving ahead in this entire C language, we'll come across all those words one by one, and you don't have to remember. Only thing in the exam, you can just write down few of the keywords, so that that means you are giving the what, the example. Okay, so these are the keywords which are there. And how many keywords are there? 32 keywords. Okay, 32 keywords which are available in the C language. So remember this. Second thing, if you observe, all the keywords are written in the small letters. So for example, if I'll write like this: int, like this. So this is allowed. This variable name is allowed because I is capital and it's not a keyword. I told you that C language is what? A case sensitive language. So even if one case changes here and there, it is having a different meaning, right? So this is a keyword, but this is not a keyword. So if we are declaring variable like this, it's allowed. It's not a wrong statement. So remember this, what is a keyword? Keywords are nothing but are the reserved words which have certain predefined meaning. The variable names cannot be same as the keywords names. There are 32 keywords and I can list down few of the keywords which are present in the C language. Now the next part is what? Identifier. So I'm audible now, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what do you mean by identifier? As the name suggests, identifier, so that means it will going to identify something. Okay? It will going to identify something. So we have learned about variable. Okay, just now we learned about variable. Variable is also an identifier. Okay, variable is also an identifier which identifies which identifies which identifies certain values, which identifies certain values, certain value in the memory, in the memory. So this variable is also an identifier. So just like variable, we can have. So what are the things which are called as variable in the C language? Sorry, identifier in the C language. We can have variable names, array names, array names, structure names, or any function names. Okay, even the function names. So that means any user defined names, any user defined names. Okay. Variable names or array names, structure names, function names, any user defined names are called as what? Identifier, right? So variable is also an identifier, and whatever rules we learned about the variables, all those rules will be applicable for giving the names to any identifier. Okay, so all the rules will be applicable to identifier. So whatever rules we have learned, those 5 rules, okay, all those 5 rules will be exactly in the same way will be applicable to identifier, whether you are giving the names to the variables, whether you are giving the names to the arrays, whether you are giving the names to the structure or function or any user defined data. If you are trying to give the names, whatever rules we have learned about the variables, those rules will be applicable to identifier also. So I'll not be covering the rules again. You can just list down all those rules, 5 rules about the identifier. So if in the exam it is asked about identifier, you can just describe that identifier identifiers are nothing but they will identify certain things in the memory, right? Certain things in the memory, like variable identifies certain value in the memory. Variable is also an identifier. Similarly, array names, structure name, function names, or any user defined data type is what? Identifier. Then you can simply list down those 5 rules, right? For example, identifier names cannot start with a number, right? No special character is allowed except the underscore. Then about the length of the identifier, first 32 characters will be significant. Then you can write about the case sensitivity, right? Even if one letter case changes here and there, then it will not be same as the same identifier, okay? And then what? The identifier names cannot be same as what? Your keywords names, right? It cannot be same as your keywords name. So I've covered about the character set in the C language till now, where we try to learn. Okay, if we are learning any different language, right? There we will first learn about the letters, then we will learn about the numbers, then we will learn about the special symbols which are present in that particular language. So we learned in this, there are letters which are available just like the English language, like capital A to Z, then small a to Z. And those also, those letters are having the ASCII value. So we learned that capital A is having 65, B is having 66, okay, like this, where Z is having 90. Similarly, small a to Z, where A is having 97 ASCII value, then small z is having 122, B is having 98, C is having 99. Then we saw digits are available, right? And digits are from 0 to 9. Then the special symbols are there. Special symbols are there, like character symbols which are present, dollars, tilde, okay, then at the rate, multiplication, question mark, etc. Then the variables are there, variable names are there. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. So we were discussing about these. Uh, Digits, there is one correction. Digits, you just try to remember, it's start from 48, okay, not from 47. 48 ASCII value. So like 0 will have the 48, right? Then 1 will have the 49, 2 will have the 50. Okay, so it starts from 48, then 9 will have 57. Okay? So remember this. Digits ASCII value start from what? 0 will have 48, then 1 will have 49, so on up to 9, 57. So remember this, not from 47, it starts from 48. So if we just try to add in 48 10, because 0 to 9 10 value, so it will become 58, right? It will become 58, but we have to also include this 48, so up to what, 57. Remember this. Okay, now further things, we have covered reserved words, identifiers. Now if you see here, uh, let me show you. Okay, for example, see, three examples are given. Whether I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So one example is there, like 5BC. So 5BC is not valid. Why? Because this name is starting from a number. Okay, so it should start either from the underscore or any letter, but not with the number. Now if you see, the second identifier is given as what, int. So int is a keyword, so it cannot be an identifier, right? So it's wrong. Then if you see here, rec and then the hash is given. So hash is what, a special character, so which is not allowed, right? Because only special character that is allowed, that is what, underscore. Similarly, average number, it's proper, but only thing, there is a space, so space is not allowed, right? In between you can have the underscore, but space is not allowed, so blank space is not permitted. So this is also a wrong identifier of variable names. Remember this. Okay, so now let's see a few things about the constants. Okay, so we learned about the variables in the C language. Now let's see about the constant in the C language. Okay, so as the name suggests, constant will be constant throughout the program. Their values will never going to change. So if you see the tree, it's like this. If the constant in the C language is divided, so let me, just 1 minute, let me have the pen. It's taking time. So if you see the tree, the constant is divided into three parts: numeric constant, character constant, and string constant. Okay, numeric, character constant, and string constant. So in the numeric, it is divided into two parts: integer constant and real constant. Okay, integer constant and real constant. Now the integer constant is divided into decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. Decimal, octal, and hexadecimal. Okay. Oh. So the numeric constant, first we are learning about the numeric constant. Now in the numeric constant we have integer constant, real constant. Real constant means those fractional values I'm talking about, like if I want 5.7, 2.34, okay. So these kind of fractional values will come in the real constant. So if I declare x is equal to, uh, let's say I'm having a constant 4.312. So this is what a fractional values. This will come in the real constant. Now the decimal constant, what do you mean by this decimal? Deci means deci means 10. Okay, so a number system which has 0 to 10, I mean total 10 symbols, 0 to 9. Okay, So total 10 symbols. So that kind of number system is called as a decimal number system. So in the decimal number system, you will be having the symbols from 0 to 9. So any number, any digits, integer digits which you will be declaring, that will comes in the decimal number system. Like we are having 1, 3, 5, 4. So this is a decimal number, okay, which is combination of 0 to 9 symbols. Then the octal number system. So octal number system means what? Octal means what? 8. Okay, octa. So 8. A number system which has 8 symbols. A number system which has what? 8 symbols. 8 symbols. So which are those symbols? Symbols are from 0 to 7. Okay. So whatever is formed, that will be formed with the arrangement of these 0 to 7 numbers. Okay, octal numbers. Even the octal numbers is also comes under this integer constant. Then the hexadecimal. But one thing you will have to remember, octal numbers will always start from O, that is 0. Okay, 0. We have to write, for example, we'll write like this. So if any octal number is there, we can write like this: 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. So this is an octal number: 0, 4, 5, octal number. Okay. Now hexadecimal. So hexadecimal is total. There are total 15, 16 symbols are there, right? So 0 to 15 total, 0 to 15. So total 16 symbols are present. Total 16 symbols are present in the hexadecimal. The symbols, I mean the numbers, let's say I am writing 0, 1, 2, then 10, 11, 12, 13, okay, up to 50. Up to 15. So 0 to 50. Total 16 symbols. Now these 10, 10 can also be represented by A, right? 10 can also be represented by A or small a. Then 11, capital B or small b. Similarly, 12 can be small c or capital C, right? 15, capital F or small f. So even those can also be represented by letters, right? And a hexadecimal will start from like this. Okay, once we will try to represent, we'll have to represent the hexadecimal in this particular fashion. So let's see ahead. Okay, one more thing, the characters are there. So I'll delete this. Now character constants are what? For example, suppose I want to store a letter like this, only a single letter. Like I want to store this B. So these are what? A character constant, a single letter which will be written in what? Single quotes. Okay, single quotes. C, single quotes. This is what? A character constant. If you're talking about string constants are like the name of any particular person, place, okay, and that will be written in double quotes. For example, Amit. I'm talking about now string constant. Okay, this is the example of character constant. Amit, then C programming, right? C programming, but it should be written in what? Double quotes. This is what? A string constant. That is collection of the letters will be there. Even if you are writing a single letter, for example, if you are writing a single letter and you are writing in double quotes, then this will be treated as a string constant. This will be treated as a string constant and not character constant. Why? Because one thing you keep in mind, that string will always have the end character as what? A null character. Okay, a null character like so. This will be written like this, A and then this null character. Right? So every string is terminated with the null character. So even though if you are writing uh, a character like this and the string like this, okay, this is not a character. This is what? A string constant, and this one is what? A character constant. If with the one single quote, if you are writing. So whether it's clear, all of you? Constants in C, we are having three types: numeric constants, character constant, string constant. So character constant example is like this in single quotes. String constant example is like this, double quotes, right? In numeric constant, we are having integer, we are having what? Real constants. So real constants like if we will declare number like this, which will have the fractional values. In integer constant, we are having three types, like normal our numbers, digits. For example, 5, 1, 4, 5, 3, 4. This is a number, right? Octal will have 0 to 7 symbols, right? It will start from 0. Hexadecimal 0 to 15, it will also consist of letters. The numbers will start from 0x. Okay, so these are the examples of these constants. So you can just go through the theory, right, later. Okay? You can just go through the theories. And a few invalid and valid things will be there. For example, if you see here the integer constant. So this example, if you see a 2.5, so it's not a valid integer constant. Why? Because there is a point value is there in between that, and it's a fractional value, so it's not an integer constant. If you see 3 hash 5, so this is also illegal because in between there is what a special character is there, that is hash sign is there. Then 0.925, so this is also not this integer constant. Why? Because it is starting from 0. I told you that from 0 octal number will going to start. Okay, then 8 comma 354, 8 comma 354 comma is not allowed in the number, so this is not a what integer constant. Okay, so like this you can just go through different examples which are there. For example, if you see here the hexadecimal, these octal constants are there, right? 077 034 all starting from 0. Then hexadecimal constant 0x 0x23. Okay, then a real or floating constant. Okay, real constant which will have the point values like these. So these are the real constants. Then the character constant we saw, which will be represented in one single quotes, right? And the string constant, for example, this is not a valid real character constant. Why? Because it is having combinations of letters and it is being represented in a single quote. Okay, if you are having combination of letters, you must represent with the double quotes, so this is not allowed. This with the double quotes, only one letter is there, so this is a string, it's not a character constant. And here if you see, there is no character at all in this particular thing, right? And this is a y without any single quotes. So this is also not valid. Even if you want to have a space, then you will have to put one space inside this. Okay, then it will be a valid. Yeah, ASCII values, if you see over here, it's given, right? For example, semicolon ASCII value is 59, space ka ASCII value will be 32, numbers 48 to 57, small a to z 97 to 122, then a capital A to z 65 to 90. String constant, if you see here with the double quotes, it's given, right? Double quotes. So like these different types of constants are there. Now let's start with the data types, and different types of data types are available, which is very important question in the C language. Okay, explain different types of data types which are available in the C language. Now, first of all, before learning about the data types, what do you mean by data types? It's actually tells what kind of data type you are storing. Okay, what is the type of the data which you are storing? For example, whether you are storing a fractional values, whether you are storing a character values, or you are storing a string values, or you are storing an integer value. So which kind of data you are storing? So that how will come to know with the help of the data type which we will going to specify before that particular value. So with the help of that value only we'll come to know which kind of data type is there, right? Now there are several data types are there. For example, it is divided into basic data type and you will define data types, right? So the few fundamental basic data types are there, like character, integer, float, and double. Character, integer, float, and double, these are called as what? Basic data type. So you must remember this particular table also. I'll tell you how to calculate this. Only thing, for the float and double you will have to remember the values, right? And for character, integer, we'll calculate this particular thing, how this comes. So we'll start. Now, before moving ahead with these data types, you must also understand a few things. For example, there are two kinds of qualifiers. Okay, so let me show you. We are talking about now data types. So two qualifiers are there. One is size, and another is sign. Okay, size and sign qualifier. Size qualifier means we can have short, we can have long, and sign qualifiers we can have signed and we can have unsigned, signed, unsigned. Now, with the help of these qualifiers, if we are using a size qualifier, we can modify the size of that particular data type. So if we will say short, it will short that particular data type. We will say long, it will increase the size of that particular data size. Okay. So for example, if we are having 4 byte of data, so if we'll say short, it will do what 2 byte. If we'll say long, it will do what 8 byte. Okay. So with the help of short, we can reduce the data size, okay, data type size. If we will use long modifier or qualifier, we can increase the size of that particular data type. Similarly, we have the signed data type. So signed data type means what? Signed and unsigned. For example, if the values are like this, signed, whether that is signed or unsigned, right? So we can change the sign of that particular data type. So remember this, there are two qualifiers present. One is size, the second is sign. In sign, we are having signed and unsigned. In size, we are having short and long. Okay. So first, we will going to learn about the integer type data. That is int type data. So we are learning about basic data types in C. Basic data types in C. So first we are learning about the integer. Okay. Now in the programming language, if we simply write integer, or if we are writing in this way, sign int, both are same. Okay, both are same. So even if you are not writing sign before the integer, then also it is considered as signed integer. Okay, then also it is considered as signed integer. And if you are writing a signed keyword before integer, it's okay. If you're not writing signed keyword before integer, then also it is considered as what? Signed int. Then you can have unsigned int. Unsigned int. Okay. Then you can have with the help of, so this is with the help of what? Sign qualifier. Then we can have short int, we can have long int, short int and long int, with the help of what? Size qualifier. Now let's make the column. This is a type of data. So this is the data type. Size and range. Okay. So I'm calculating, I'm assuming that integer, if it's taking 2 bytes, a normal size on 32 bit, right? In the turbos, it takes 2 bytes. I'm not talking about 64-bit system, 32-bit system. Let's say suppose it's taking 2 bytes. First of all, let's understand what do you mean by bytes. So one byte is equal to 8 bits. I told you that computer will only understand what? Computer will only understand the binary language. Okay, computer will only understand the binary language. So what do you mean by this binary language? A binary language is nothing but zeros and ones. Okay, streams of zeros and ones. Only two kinds of symbols are there. Bi means two. Only two kinds of symbols are present, zero or one, in the binary language. So it will be having a bits representation like this. So 1 byte is equal to what? 8 bits, right? If I am talking about 2 bytes, that means total 16 bits. Okay, 4 bytes, 32 bits. 4 bytes is what? 32 bits. Clear? Okay. So till here, you just try to remember, and then the entire data types will start from the next lecture, because again I'll have to revise the same thing. So we'll start from the integer data type, and then we'll try to finish that particular part. Now, whatever we have learned today, if you have any doubt, you can ask me. At the same time, I request Ria to take the attendance also. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Jyotirmay,
हाँ सर, ओके।
yeah, please take the attendance. I'll just stop the recording.